Well, happy Independence Day, YouTube. My name is Adam Watson. If you never tuned into my channel before, we do a little bit of everything. I've got a very demanding job at a regional airline here in Alaska right now, and I've not been able to study up the video editing and get into that the way I really want to, which I'm going to. I guess I'm procrastinating that. Do I procrastinate, Christina?
Oh yes, a lot.
Anyway, we live in Palmer, Alaska. We're currently doing this video from Glen Allen, Alaska on July the 4th, and we're having a beautiful Independence Day. And what we normally do is we give videos on tips of driving through Canada during the COVID restrictions to or from Alaska. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback. But we were doing weekly videos because things were just changing so much and we were hearing so much. So basically, we're one source where we can share information of different people's experiences of where to cross, where not to cross, all that kind of good stuff. So we haven't done a video in a few weeks now. I figure it's time to throw a quick one together. We're out camping right now. I got an email from a guy named Robert Watson, same last name as me, so I figure instead of taking time emailing back, I'll just answer in a video because I'm sure a lot of people have the exact same questions he does, and we haven't done one in quite a while. I will put in the description of this video a link of our camping here. It's pretty cool. We actually did some hammock camping, so we'll put a little video together with that. But anyhow, if you want to watch that, you can. Please, if you're thinking about coming to or from Alaska, subscribe to my channel. I do give a lot of tips out. Anytime something changes, I always do a video. And also I'm starting to do some different motorcycle videos. We're doing Mexico videos. We're doing a little bit of everything. So my wife and I both work for an airline, and we both have traveled extensively for the last few years. So we try to do a lot of good tips, but Alaska's our new place. Are you swatting bugs there, Christina?
Yes.
All right, so Robert Watson said, Adam, I stumbled across your travel tips to Alaska, and I think they're awesome. I'm going to Alaska to start a new job in Fairbanks on August the 1st, and we'll be driving through the border in Montana. My question to you is if you could provide me with some insight on how to transport my weapons and ammunition and get them to Fairbanks. I saw a couple of videos that tell me to have them shipped to a gun shop in Fairbanks, which seems reasonable. I'm foggy on the transport of the ammunition. I believe you mentioned that it's okay to transport ammo if it's under 5,000 rounds. Is that accurate? I also saw in a video that if I have pistols, that I should overnight them. Would you please clarify some of this stuff? Anyway, so if you have the time, my recommendation is, I bet my wife's running us nuts with that thing. She's bug swatting. No, come sit with us.
But I don't want to be.
You don't want to be eating?
Attacked by the mosquito.
All right. I'll kind of extend this out a little bit. Hopefully it's not too bad of a, there we go. She's a lot prettier than I am. Say hey, Christina.
Hello.
So, Robert, to answer your question, and anybody else, so yes, it is 5,000 rounds that you can ship up, or you can take with you. I think you have to, I do know you have to, I keep wanting to say it, clarify. What is the word I'm looking for, Christina? I'm losing my mind today. You have to declare. You have to declare.
Mm-hmm.
My advice with the pistols and the guns and all that, what I did, and I tell a lot of people, and I know you're moving in less than a month, so it's July 4th and you're moving August 1st. You might not have the time to do this, but if you have the time, it's so much easier to fly everything up here and with yourself. So jump on Delta or Alaska. If you're coming to Alaska, I don't know, we get 3 free bags. I think you do if you're part of the Club 49, but I don't know how quick you could join. Anyway, Delta or Alaska or American Airlines be the 3 I recommend to come up here. And just for pistols, I took a rifle case and just put all my pistols in it. You can have more than one gun in a case, and then just fly them up with you. You know, you declare it when you check in, do your declaration. Every airport's totally different on how they handle it. If they have a scanner, you don't even have to take it out. Make sure you have TSA pre-locks. I'm actually helping a guy get his gun back this week that didn't have TSA pre-locks. So, and he flew on without it. So anyway, make sure you have the TSA pre-locks. That's a huge deal. TSA pre, your TSA locks, not TSA pre, your TSA locks. I guess my brain's not functioning correctly. So Robert, if you can fly it up, I recommend doing it yourself. And then while you're up, just get you a driver's license, but you'll want to go ahead and make an appointment at the DMV because you do have to make an appointment. And then you're going home when you come through Alaska. It's just easier that way. But if you don't have the time to do that, you don't feel like doing that, then yes, you'll have to ship your pistols up. I would get with a gun dealer in Fairbanks, which I don't know one. I do know a good one in Anchorage, if you were to need one in Anchorage, but if you're going to Fairbanks, it wouldn't do you any good. But if somebody else is watching, One of my managers, her and her husband have a gun shop in Anchorage, and they're really awesome, honest people. I would recommend them in Anchorage. Find a gun dealer where you live, find one up here, and ship it. So yes,
I
and you
want to
can.
say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say something about the driver license. You have to go online and really check because they ask for the real ID and they ask you for a lot of documents, so you don't waste your time and have to go twice because a lot of people they don't have that information. So it's important to have go online and check it out, check out everything they ask you because it's going to be a real pain if you don't
You're
have
right.
all your stuff together.
It's a
and
good
you have
idea.
to have more than one visit to the DMV, which is not fun.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yep,
That's
I have
100%
that.
right.
Yep.
So
I just want to.
yeah,
bring that
and it took you how many trips?
Oh, it just took me one.
But you had all your. That's right.
Yes.
She's always got her stuff together.
No, I read. I mean, I had the time.
And you were changing your name because she just became a U.S. citizen right before we moved up here. You were changing your name and everything.
Yes.
And you still got it done.
Yeah, but I needed the passport and social security card and proof of residency. All of that stuff you have to have
Right.
it because now it's a real ID. It's not just a driver license.
Right, I hadn't thought about that aspect of it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. So that's the easiest way. If you're going home, you get way less questions. Yeah, you definitely. I don't think they'll let you. I'm 99% sure they will not let you take the handguns through. It's only rifles, and Canada's a pain.
Well, they have
Now that they've got all the COVID, they're the less you can have to spend at the border, the better. The less you got to declare and deal with all that stuff, and you can ship your ammunition up Alaska Air Cargo, and I would imagine Delta Air Cargo. I think that's more expensive though if you can bring it and carry on luggage. If you got like a wife or something, or a significant other, even if you got kids, you can bring up to 50 pounds of baggage, and your baggage can contain ammunition. So fly as much up as you can is my advice, and we go through a bear spray. You can have bear spray, and I had a lady that said that they didn't think. Yeah, you can have bear spray. You can drive up with bear spray. You can't fly with bear spray. You can drive up. That can be your weapon, I guess. And there was a crazy black bear that went nuts around that hot springs close to Mucho Lake that killed a bunch of people, if you remember right.
Yes.
So I mean, I recommend bear spray for sure. And it's a good weapon because they don't want you to defend yourself. So as you can see, I don't know how good it'll show. You know, we got our bear spray and our 45 sitting right there. Christina's always got her gun with her. I mean, it's just part of living in Alaska. It's a blessing.
But I prayed before, so I don't have to use it. That's my best weapon.
So the other question, or not question, I had a couple that really took a lot of time, and they read their entire email. They wrote a really detailed email. They had a very unique scenario. They lived in an RV full time, and they were government contractors. They just lived all over, and they were coming up here. But what I was worried about when they go across the border, I was worried that they wouldn't let them through because a lot of RVers will claim whatever they can claim to be able to come up to Alaska. It's a big thing. People love to come RVing in Alaska, and I don't blame them. It's a beautiful place to come. So that's something Canada's real strict on. But so I told them, I was like, I'm really worried about you crossing the border. Let me know how it goes. Well, they did. They did it, and what they did is they had proof of all the campsites they've stayed at and how they've been full-timing all this time, proof of that government contract they were on prior to, and proof of the new contract they were coming up to, proof of the campground, of how long they were going to be up here. And they were able to say, hey, this is my home, and Canada let them through. I've talked to several people. They're not asking about the vaccine yet. I know it is coming according to what I read on Google News, which is, I don't trust the news much, but I do trust that part of it. I think that is coming. So far, no vaccines required. You do have to take the COVID test. It has to be a PCR test within 72 hours prior to arrival to the border. There's a place in Great Falls that does it. I've had several people. I'd have to look their name up. I gave it to the couple that came up in the RV, and they said it was great. Get the rapid test if you can. It works great. So, and it's free. She said it was free. They didn't even charge her anything. So that worked out great. Border crossing. I highly, 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 highly recommend Couts, Alberta. It's just north of Shelby, which is north of Great Falls, Montana. It's worth the drive. If you go to the North Dakota side, just north of Minot, I can't think of the name of it right now, but if you cross there, you will get searched. Everybody I know that's crossed there has been searched. Not that you have anything to hide, but how aggravating is it for them? You've packed it up moving to Alaska for them to take all your stuff out of your car or your trailer or whatever, U-Haul, So that will happen. People are telling me they're held up 4 and 5 hours, and I'm hearing everybody I've talked to that's went across there, North Dakota, get searched. I haven't known of anybody got searched in Couts. I'm sure if you go in there acting stupid and they think you're hauling drugs or guns or whatever, yeah, they're gonna search you, as they should. They should search you. But everybody gets searched at the other one. Did you get one?
Yeah. I got a big one. Don't let me show you.
She's having a good time with this thing.
I might as well enjoy it.
That is it. So that's an Alaska mosquito.
Let me show you. I don't know if they can see it.
Yeah, it shows up. That thing's huge.
It is.
The mosquitoes around here can stand flat-footed and look eye-to-eye with the German Shepherd. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
They're crazy. So if you've never tuned in before, just the quick tips of actually what you need to have. Make sure the best thing is to come up here first, get established first, then go back, and you're going home. You can go home to Alaska. If you're moving from Alaska to the lower 48, if you're moving up here and you don't have time to do that, what I recommend is make sure you have proof of what you did with your residence in the lower 48 if you're going north, and have proof of where you're moving to. And they love to see work. They don't want you moving for the hell of it. They want to see work, that you're moving for work. Get a letter from your employer, and make sure you have all the documentation you can, the negative COVID tests, and you'll be fine. You know, the couple that I talked about in the RV, that lived in the RV, they remind me of my mom, and I love my mom to death, so that's a compliment. But buddy, they followed every rule to a T, and as you should. I mean, I'm the rebel. I mean, they followed it all. They wouldn't even get gas if they couldn't pay at the pump. That's how strict they were. I will say, I'm such a rebel. I play the game at the border, and then the mask comes off, and I don't put it back on because no one else wears a mask up there. And I go out to eat at restaurants. I live normal. I live normal all the way through, and I have the whole time I went through. And this is when COVID was the scare of a lifetime, and no one's ever messed with me at all.
What happened is that people get scared, Adam, when they give all these rules, and if you don't follow, this is going to happen. That's what they've been told.
Oh, I know.
That's why people are so scared, and they follow the rules the way they say.
They do. I don't have it in me to follow rules that much. I'm not a rule follower.
Do. That's why they are.
Right. Right. And I was in law enforcement most of my life. I'm not anymore, but
He's
I'm
a
off.
rebel now.
Now I'm joining the Hells Angels next week. No, I'm just joking. I'm not.
No, I will not let you do that.
But I probably would enjoy those guys, you know.
Yeah, but you gotta follow the rules. Like every country has their own rules. You gotta follow it.
They do. I agree. No, I'm definitely not an outlaw. I'm all for obeying the law, and for the most part, and I'm all for doing the right thing. And Christine and I are definitely strong Christians, and we try to live our life right and all that good stuff. We try. We fail like everybody else. But so I'm saying, I'm not some crazy outlaw. I mean, I don't even, if I go 2 days without shaving, I feel like I'm an outlaw. So, I'm very rigid. I try to do the right thing. But I am a rebel to an extent, and I've never had any trouble. So where I'm going with all this is, enjoy your trip through Canada. I could not have enjoyed it if I'd have done it. If I'd have done it the way those people did, I couldn't enjoy it. And you know what? My mom came up with us, and I'll go into another story with that, but my mom came up with us, and she couldn't have a good time going through beautiful Canada because she was worried about them the whole time. She thought they were tracking our cell phones and hiding in the woods. I mean, I'm not exaggerating, am I, Christina?
Yes, but that's the information she got, and that's why she's scared, and she wanted to, don't break the rules. That's
no one's tracking you. No one's hiding in the woods with binoculars.
But they were hurting Americans before, remember?
Well, they were being stupid. They were going to these, don't go to resorts. Truly do what you're supposed to do. I mean, don't get off your route. If you got to go 5 miles to get something to eat, yeah, but I'm talking about they were going to Banff and getting on ski resorts and going to hot springs, and don't do stupid stuff. I mean, you can listen to our accents and realize we're not Canadian, and, just...
Not Canadian, eh?
Eh? Just don't do stupid stuff. So, a question I get a lot of, and I did get my mom through, but this was in August of last year. It was when things were, before they got as tight as they did. Do not take a passenger. Everybody in the vehicle is accounted for. Well, let me rephrase that. If it's like you and your wife moving up, or you and your family, everybody in the vehicle needs to be moving to Alaska with you.
Have a proof of residency.
And have proof that they're all coming up, So if you want to take Aunt Ethel, that's always wanted to see Canada, and she's going to fly back the minute she gets up there, they will not let her through. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree 100%.
They almost didn't let my mom through, and I guarantee if we tried it today, they wouldn't. And the only thing that saved us was I called Canada, and I had proof on my cell phone how long I talked to them and the date and this, that, and the other.
That they were agreed that my mom.
And they agreed that my mom could come through as long as she was traveling with us. So, yeah, that was the very beginning of things getting stricter the way they are now. So, pretty well, it's so easy. So don't let the trip intimidate you is where I'm going with it. We have tons of videos you can watch. I've got fuel stops planned out. I've got a PDF I could email you. Our email is bigSkyBlessing@gmail.com. I've got lodging stops. And I always will say this. I haven't done a video in a long time, so I will say this. My favorite, what I recommend is stay at the Best Western in Shelby, Montana, or stay somewhere around Shelby. Best Western's the only nice hotel there. I think there's a couple of little mom and pops. So stay at the Best Western Shelby, Montana for night one, right stage at the border. First thing the next morning, you need to allow a good 2 hours at the border. It's taken us 2, and I've done it in 30. So 30 minutes, you never can tell. Most people are saying it's between an hour and 2 hours. That's pretty average. And that's if you go to the other one, it's even going to be longer. And I don't recommend the Washington side because a lot of services are not opening over there either. So I recommend night 1, Shelby. Night 2, Grande Prairie. I can endorse the Best Western and the Hilton, not the Hilton, it's the Hampton Inn. I'm normally not a Hampton fan. I love Hilton properties. Hamptons to me is like the Walmart of their properties. But I don't know, after traveling in Bush, Alaska as much as I have now, I would absolutely love to see the Hampton Inn sometimes. But
Not in this part.
yeah, I used to travel quite luxurious, I guess. But the Hampton Inn Hampton Inn in Grand Prairie, Alberta is the nicest I've ever stayed at in my life. It's super nice. And then breakfast still sucks though. And then in Grand Prairie, there's a restaurant walking distance from the Hampton Inn. It's called Brown Social House. I highly endorse that place. It's not expensive, and it's really, really good.
Did you ate there? We ate?
We always got something with tofu. It was some kind of Asian type thing, but it was good.
Tofu bowl. That's the best.
It was good. And they have some really good, they got some good microbrewed beer on tap, too. It's really, really good. Christina loves her beer. She normally guzzles. She don't drink. I do. She don't.
He does a bad thing. I don't.
So anyway, I endorse that. And then the next one would be, you have to, the best stop of the whole thing. I don't care if you're in an RV. I don't care if you're in anything. And I'll go back to the RV question here in a minute. The absolute best place on the whole route to me is, hell, I'm losing my mind, Northern Rockies Lodge. It's in Mucho Lake. It's right in the middle of the whole Alaska Highway. You do not want to stay in Watson Lake. It is an absolute dump. There's nowhere nice there to stay. The only thing nice I've seen, I got some friends that flown their airplanes up to Alaska, their personal airplanes, and they spend the night. There's a really cool campground on the airfield, but I think you've got to fly in to access it. So other than that, I've not seen anything nice in Watson Lake.
Well, the place where you go, the yard where you take
yeah, the signpost thing, but I mean, you can cover that thing in 20 minutes and you're done.
Well, yeah.
I'd hate to spend the night there.
It's fun to take pictures of all the
yeah, it is, but I'd be depressed spending the night in that city.
Oh, no, I didn't say about that.
But Fort St. John's okay, but so I recommend my first night in Canada Grand Prairie, my second night is Northern Rockies Lodge. And technically, we're not supposed to. They're going to stop you when right before you come into Watson Lake. They're going to stop you. That's the beginning of the Yukon, and the Yukon's crazy when it comes to COVID. They're going to stop you and tell you can't go into Whitehorse. They've been doing that since the beginning of the pandemic. They tell you to stay on the highway. All the hotels on the highway are a dump. I mean, there's nowhere I'd put anybody. So downtown, I'm hearing from a lot of my viewers they're not having any problems. I started doing Haynes Junction as my third night just to avoid all the Whitehorse drama. But I think it's gotten a lot better. I would probably stay in Whitehorse if I went through right now. Whitehorse is a cool town. I would love to go tour it again whenever they finally open the freaking border. But I don't think it'll be this summer, do you?
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to get her on my motorcycle. We're going to take her over there for a trip one day.
You keep dreaming.
I will.
No.
I'll get her there. Right, I hope. She's a little touchy about the motorcycle.
I don't like to drive motorcycles.
She's not giving it much of a chance. So anyway, what was the other thing? Oh, the RV. A lot of people want to bring their RV up and just plan to sleep in it. You're going to find there's not a lot of parking for RVs. Due to COVID, we're not allowed in any of the Canadian RV parks, and most of the RV parks on the way up are, and this is what I'm hearing from other RVers, are Canadian owned. So, I mean, Canadian government owned. So you can't stay in a Canadian government. They're like parks like what we're in right now. They're owned by the government. So, and they're nice, they're really nice. But a U.S. citizen is not allowed to stay in it during COVID right now, or anybody other than Canadian, shall I say. So I'm hearing a lot of people say that you could stay at Northern Rockies Lodge in your RV if you wanted to, and they have a great restaurant there. I recommend starting every day early because if you have a breakdown, and we've had that actually, I recommend starting every day early, and that way you're getting to your destination, 5, 6 in the evening, and then all the restaurants are open. Like Northern Rockies Lodge, I think they quit serving food at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So if you're a fat boy like me and you like to eat, that's important. So I'd recommend starting early. That way, if you have any problems along the roadway, people are there. This is a very unpopulated area, but you'll have access to more services. And there's places, and I recommend bringing 2 gas cans, 2 5-gallon cans, and bring extra gas. If one pump went down in the middle of one of those places, because something a lot of people don't think about, you're more than likely, if you're moving, you're pulling a trailer. Well, our little Subaru Outback gets almost 30 miles a gallon, but we were pulling a U-Haul trailer up with it, and it did a great job, but we got 10 to 12 miles a gallon.
Yes.
And so we were every 180 miles, even with our 18-gallon tank, every 180 miles we were having to stop for gas, and we were almost on empty. We could probably squeeze 200 out of it, and that was it. I mean, that's the same as with my motorcycle. My motorcycle gets like 40-something miles a gallon, but I would plan 180, 200 on my motorcycle, which holds 6 gallons of gas. This thing holds 18. So there's our beautiful car, by the way. It's already got, we look like the Griswolds with our firewood on it. What else do we need to tell them, Christina? Have we covered all the bases? Because some of these people, you're more than welcome to look at all my videos. I'll put some links into the rest of them.
Where can you get this?
Fred Meyer's, all over Alaska, has those things. The mosquitoes suck. Where we live in Palmer, they're actually not that bad. They're really bad in June. By July, they kind of go away. Like at home, I had the first mosquito bite the other day hanging around our yard. But we're in Glen Allen right now, and you'll be coming through Glen Allen if you're coming to moving to Anchorage.
But it doesn't last too long, though.
No. When the snow comes, they go away. No,
they die.
I'm just joking. They come back with a vengeance.
It doesn't last too long. Just have to feed them once or twice.
You gotta feed them. Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
That's it. Well, any questions you have, shoot me an email, bigskyblessing@gmail.com. I did pride myself in responding to every single email, and I'm trying to. My new job is so demanding. I just don't have the time that I used to have. When I was living on Bernie Bucks and doing the whole unemployment thing, I had tons of time. I don't have that anymore. So, but I will respond. I'll say I'm responding to probably 90% of the people that write me. But some weeks are just so demanding, I just overlook it, and I apologize. I'd never ignore anybody on purpose. I hope that answers everybody's questions. Do you have anything else you think we should add? We've talked about the paperwork, where to stay. I've got one on gas stops you should watch. I go over that in detail. I recommend Couts for your border crossing.
I don't have anything.
I don't think we have anything else. Living in Alaska is amazing. It's cool. I can't think of anything else.
Everything about the guns for.
I've answered everything about the guns. I recommend just flying them up. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Shoot me an email if you have anything else. I haven't been doing the weekly videos anymore because I just really didn't have that much to update. But with the couple that just came through with the RV, they gave a lot of great information. And I thought their situation was so unique. And they were so very, I didn't even talk to them. You can tell in the way they write. They're very intelligent people. They're very organized people. They had their ducks in a row. I mean, they went above and beyond in their documentation. Have all the documentation you can. And they made it across with no problem, they said. And I mean, these people carried it to the letter. So,
which is good.
Which is good. Yeah, they did it the right way. I'm the rebel. I'm going to go have me a beer and a nice meal at Brown Social House without a mask on. But technically, they could put me in Canadian jail for it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we've done that trip quite a few times and enjoyed it, but we're done with it. So we're too busy in our own jobs and life right now. But it was a lot of fun. Don't let it intimidate you. So, and if I will keep passing it. As different information comes to me that I don't already have, I will keep doing a video and I'll keep passing it on. I can promise you that. So please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and if there's anything you want to see around Alaska, let us know. Christina and I both are covering this entire state quite often, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We definitely get out and love Alaska, and we both travel a lot for our jobs. So she's a flight attendant. You want to do a safety briefing right before we?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm sure.
Okay.
I want them to.
Is smoking allowed on the flight or no?
No, I want them to when they get here to take one of the flights so they can see it on live.
Okay, there you go.
With a cookie. Everywhere.
We work for Raven Alaska. It's a really cool regional airline, and it's really cool. So
everybody's nice.
It's nice. If you're going to Kenai or Homer, I definitely recommend it over driving.
Yes, yes. Well, it depends because you want to see the scenery as well.
That's true. It is a beautiful drive. It's one of the probably one of the prettiest drives ever. But
Right.
there's always people from other countries that are not as quite as talented as we are when it comes to driving bigger equipment because they've never have, and they rent these motorhomes. And we just watched one wreck into a tree a few minutes ago here, and they got out speaking in a different language, and it's a miracle they didn't kill themselves. But
Well, they're trying, Emma.
they're trying. I give them credit.
I haven't.
So they literally will get on the highway, and they will literally, if they see a moose, which you'll see quite a few, they will stop that RV in the middle of the road and jump out with their camera with a lens about the size of a freaking football and start taking pictures.
They're brave.
They're brave. They're very talented people, just not at driving. And they do not understand we don't stop in the middle of a major highway.
That's a breaking the rule in the country.
There's no interstates here. It's all 2-lane roads, one road in, one road out type place.
Yeah.
So when someone from a different country rents that big RV and they stop it in the middle of the road and they take pictures, they literally are holding up traffic for miles. Do you agree?
Yes.
And they go 20 miles an hour so they don't miss one little thing. So I wish we could get them onto the train. Let them enjoy the train. Let someone else drive for them.
Right.
But that highway, for whatever reason, the Kenai Peninsula is so amazing. That highway seems to have the most tourists on it. So this time of year, it'll take you forever. So flying.
Because you see wildlife more
You
in
do.
that area.
You do. I was in Kenai. I saw some huge moose. I was in Kenai Thursday. I flew into Kenai. I drove down to Homer and drove back up. I saw 6 or 7 moose, and one of them was the biggest moose I've ever seen in my life. Huge antlers.
That's where we get our water, isn't it? Our spring water?
Not in Kenai. We get it in Talkeetna.
Oh, Talkeetna. Yeah.
She gets all these names mixed up.
Yes.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our video. I know we went a little long, but we haven't done one in quite a while, and I hope we gave you some good tips. And at least we're out here in true Alaska doing it. I'm not sitting with a freaking green screen at home, and it's snowing outside.
This is the green screen.
This is the green screen.
Real green.
Yes. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed our video. How about considering subscribe to us? The more subscriptions we get, the quicker we can get to living in Mexico and doing other kind of stuff, right? Our goal is to live in Mexico half the year and live up here half the year, and we're going to get there eventually, but
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Baby steps.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I'm Adam, and you are?
Christina.
And we are your Alaska host. Thank you. Please subscribe. Let us know what else you want to see. Bye.